If you are watching this right now, pause for a second and stay with me. This moment is not accidental. It is not random timing. It is not just another video crossing your screen. Something important was unfolding in your life. Something heavy, something emotional, something you may not have told anyone about. And this message arrived right in the middle of it. Some of you were close to giving up. Not loudly, quietly, internally, smiling on the outside, exhausted on the inside. Some of you went to bed last night with questions you couldn't answer. Questions like, why is this taking so long? Why do I feel stuck when I'm trying so hard? Why does it seem like nothing is changing even though I'm praying? And some of you, in a moment of honesty, looked up and said, God, if you're there, I need something. I need a sign. I need to know you haven't forgotten me. Listen carefully. What you've been feeling lately is not weakness, it's pressure. And pressure only shows up when something valuable is being formed. Right before things shift, life gets quiet. Right before clarity arrives, confusion feels louder. Right before relief comes, the weight feels heavier than usual. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. You may feel delayed, overlooked, or uncertain right now, but that doesn't mean you're off track. It means something is aligning beneath the surface, even if you can't see it yet. Moments like this don't come with noise. They come with interruption. They come disguised as ordinary seconds that suddenly feel different. And if you rush past them, nothing bad happens, but something powerful waits longer than it needed to. Because breakthroughs don't disappear when ignored. They pause. If you stay present right now, if you allow this moment to settle, something begins to ease inside you. Your breathing slows, your thoughts soften. Your heart remembers something it almost forgot, that you are not alone in this. There is movement happening that you don't have to force. There is help arriving that you don't have to chase. There is clarity forming even while answers feel distant. You may not feel strong yet. You may not feel certain yet, but strength is returning. Clarity is approaching, and peace is closer than it feels. This moment is not here to scare you. It's here to steady you. Whatever you've been carrying, fear, doubt, disappointment, exhaustion, you don't have to carry it the same way after this. Stay here. Breathe. Let this moment remind you that timing has meaning, and you were meant to hear this right now. Listen carefully and don't rush past this. What you've been facing lately was not punishment. It was preparation. It felt heavy because it was shaping you. It felt unfair because it was refining you. It felt slow because it was aligning things you couldn't see. You thought the delay meant denial. You assumed silence meant absence. But the truth is, God does some of His deepest work in silence. There are seasons when nothing seems to move on the outside, yet everything is being rearranged behind the scenes. The pressure you've been under wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to stretch your capacity. What's coming into your life requires a stronger version of you. A steadier mind, a deeper faith, a quieter confidence. That's why things felt blocked. That's why doors didn't open easily. That's why progress felt slower than it should have. Because if the blessing had arrived earlier, it might have crushed you instead of elevating you. Most people don't realize this part, and that's where they fail. Right before relief shows up, resistance increases. Right before clarity arrives, confusion gets louder. Right before breakthrough, the voice of doubt becomes convincing. You start hearing thoughts you didn't invite. Thoughts that sound logical. Thoughts that sound protective. Thoughts that sound like your own voice. You've waited long enough. Nothing is changing. maybe this isn't meant for you. Maybe you should stop hoping. But those thoughts don't show up randomly. They show up when you're close. Close to healing. Close to provision. Close to answers. Close to a turning point. That's why quitting feels tempting right now. Not because you're weak, but because you're near. If you quit now, you don't quit at the beginning. You quit at the edge. One step before relief, one step before clarity, one step before something finally shifts in your favor. And here's what most people never hear. Some things don't move until you do. Some doors don't open until you stand firm. Some breakthroughs wait for agreement. Silence doesn't mean peace. Sometimes silence is surrendering ground. Holding on when nothing makes sense. That's not denial. That's faith under pressure. You weren't meant to understand everything you're walking through. You were meant to trust while walking through it. God is not asking you to be fearless. He's asking you to be faithful. Faith doesn't mean you don't feel tired. Faith means you don't let tiredness decide your future. You're allowed to feel exhausted. You're allowed to feel uncertain. You're allowed to feel overwhelmed. But you are not allowed to believe the lie that this season defines you. This season is shaping you, not trapping you. What feels like resistance is actually confirmation. What feels like delay is actually alignment. What feels like silence is actually focus. God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't skipped your name. He hasn't moved on to someone else. If anything, He's been watching closely, building patience where you wanted speed, building strength where you wanted ease, building depth where you wanted results. Because shallow victories don't last, but grounded breakthroughs change everything. You are closer than your emotions are telling you, closer than your circumstances suggest, closer than the timeline you imagined. Don't measure progress only by what you see. Some of the most important progress happens internally first. Your endurance is growing. Your discernment is sharpening. Your faith is becoming quieter but stronger. And when the moment comes, when things finally move, you'll realize this season didn't weaken you. It prepared you to receive what's next without losing yourself in the process. Hold steady. Stay anchored. This warning exists because the miracle is near. God saw the nights you stayed awake staring at the ceiling, carrying questions you never spoke out loud. God saw the tears you wiped away before anyone could notice. God saw the strength it took to keep going when your heart felt tired, when your faith felt thin, when your hope felt fragile. People may have overlooked you. Situations may have ignored your effort. Results may have come slower than you prayed for. But heaven never missed a single moment. Every time you chose patience instead of anger. Every time you chose honesty instead of shortcuts. Every time you chose kindness when bitterness would have been easier. All of it was seen. All of it was recorded. You may feel invisible right now, like your work is hidden, like your prayers are unanswered, like your sacrifices are unnoticed. But being unseen by people does not mean you are unseen by God. Silence is not absence. Delay is not denial. Hidden does not mean forgotten. What you did in quiet seasons was not wasted. What you endured in private was not meaningless. What you planted when nobody was watching is still growing. There are moments when it feels like nothing is moving, like life is standing still. But growth often happens underground before it ever shows above the surface. Roots are forming where eyes cannot see. Strength is being built where applause does not reach. You are stronger now than you were before the struggle. You are wiser now than you were before the waiting. You are more prepared now than you were before the silence. There is a reason things unfolded the way they did. Some doors stayed closed to protect you. Some relationships ended to free you. Some delays happened to save you from walking into something too early. God was not ignoring you. God was shaping you. What once overlooked you will begin to notice you. What once dismissed you will reconsider you. What once moved past you will circle back with respect. Momentum can change faster than you expect. One conversation, one opportunity, one shift, one answer. What felt frozen can suddenly move. What felt impossible can suddenly make sense. But here is the truth that defines this moment. Growth requires trust when there is no visible proof. Faith is not built when everything is clear. Faith is built when you choose to believe while things are still unclear. Trust is choosing to stand steady when the outcome is not yet visible. Trust is continuing to move forward without confirmation. Trust is believing that what is being prepared is bigger than what is being withheld. God is not asking you to understand everything. God is asking you to stay anchored. You are closer than you think, closer than your emotions suggest, closer than your circumstances indicate. What you have been praying for has not been forgotten. What you have been waiting for has not expired. What you have been hoping for has not been cancelled. Timing matters. Readiness matters. Alignment matters. The season you are in is not punishment. It is positioning. You are being placed where your next chapter can actually sustain you. Not just excite you, but hold you. Hold your peace. Hold your faith. Hold your ground. Because when things begin to move, they will move with purpose. When answers arrive, they will bring clarity. When doors open, they will not require force. This moment is not the end of your story. It is the quiet middle where strength is formed, where trust is refined, where character is established. And what is coming next will make sense of what you endured before. Stay steady. Stay faithful. Stay open. God has already seen everything, and what He has seen, He has not ignored. This is the moment you've been moving toward, even if you didn't realize it. Right now, something unseen is shifting in your favor, not because everything suddenly feels easy, but because you've reached a point where staying the same is no longer possible. Growth always asks for a decision. Not tomorrow, not when things feel safer. Now. You don't step into the next season by begging or proving your worth. You step into it by agreeing with what God has already decided about you. Agreement changes posture. It turns fear into movement and hesitation into courage. You've questioned yourself long enough. You've waited for permission long enough. You've replayed the past long enough. This moment is not about having every answer. It's about choosing trust over control. There are doors that only open when you walk toward them. There are paths that only appear when you take the first step. Faith doesn't remove uncertainty. It teaches you how to move through it without stopping. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. Everything you endured shaped you for what you're about to handle. The pressure refined you. The delay strengthened you. The silence taught you how to listen. Let this be the line you cross, where fear no longer leads. Let this be the decision where you stop shrinking and start standing. You don't need to see the entire road. You only need the courage to take the next step. Receive what is meant for you without guilt. Release what no longer belongs to you without regret. Step forward, knowing you are supported, guided, and protected. If this message reached you, it's because your story is still unfolding. The struggle was not the conclusion. The waiting was not the ending. This is the turn.